Hi there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have an exciting video for you all. I'm going to take you all on a journey to learn complete modern JavaScript. So this is a complete JavaScript crash course where I teach you the basics, intermediate and the advanced concepts as well. So whether you are a beginner looking to kickstart your coding journey or an experienced developer wanting to level up your skills, this video is perfect for you. So without any delay, let's begin. But before I introduce you what JavaScript is, let us first meet Brendan Eich. So yeah, he is the creator of JavaScript. So he is Brendan Eich and he is the one behind JavaScript. And now that we know who Brendan Eich is, let us first understand what JavaScript is actually. So JavaScript was created to make web pages alive and functional. So before JavaScript, we have something called Web 1.0. So Web 1.0 was something like a newspaper where you can just read the text and you cannot do anything with it. You cannot interact with it. It was just like a newspaper. And then JavaScript came into picture and then we got something called Web 2.0. Now with the help of JavaScript, we could interact with the web pages. Like we have websites like Facebook, Instagram, where we can leave the comments, like the photos and whatnot. And all these actions are done using JavaScript. So that's the power of JavaScript. If you want to make your website functional so that users can interact with it, then you need to learn JavaScript. So JavaScript is the brain of your website. HTML is the structure, the backbone of your website, and CSS is just like a makeup, right, of your website. And well, JavaScript is the brain part of your website. It what makes your website functional so that users can interact with it. And now that you know JavaScript, so you might be wondering, hey, how can I download or install JavaScript? Well, here's the thing. You don't need to install JavaScript. JavaScript runs on your web browser and then you can directly write your JavaScript code into the .js file and then you can run that file in the browser and JavaScript runs on there. But what you can do is you can also install Node.js additionally. Well, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. If you don't want to run your JavaScript code into the browser, then you can install Node.js and then you can run your JavaScript code there. But here we will not be installing Node.js. We'll be directly running our JavaScript code into the browser and we'll start with the JavaScript. But before that, I would like to let you know that make sure you have installed VS Code. So you just need to come to this website code.visualstudio.com or simply type Visual Studio Code download in your browser and you will get a website and then you just come and download the Visual Studio Code based on your operating system. And once you have downloaded the Visual Studio Code, we can start with our crash course. And now as you can see here, I have this folder JavaScript crash course which I have opened inside this VS Code, and now I'm going to create a new file here which is known as index.html, and I'm going to generate a template of HTML. That's all. We will not be doing anything with HTML in this crash course. We'll be learning JavaScript from the basics. We'll go to the intermediate concepts and we'll learn the advanced concepts as well. So make sure you watch this video completely. If you watch this video completely and if you practice it well, then this much of JavaScript is enough for you to move into React and Next.js and eventually land your first web development job. So make sure you watch the video carefully and learn the concepts properly. Now that index.html file is ready, now let's start with the JavaScript code. So how do we write the JavaScript code? So there are two ways to write the JavaScript code. The first is you can write your JavaScript code inside your HTML file only using the script tag, and then the other way is to simply create a separate JavaScript file. So let us see the both here. So let me first write the script tag here. So you just need to open this angle bracket and then just write script and then you just close it, and your VS Code automatically closed it for me. And then this is how you need to generate a script tag. And now here inside this script tag you basically can write your JavaScript code. Now let us write our first JavaScript program. So are you all excited? we will be printing hello world in the browser console using JavaScript. So let us write our first JavaScript program. So how do we write our first JavaScript program? Well, it's very simple. You just need to type console and you just need to type dot log, and inside the invitation comma you just write hello world. That's it. And you just give semicolon at the end of every statement. So semicolon is not important in JavaScript, but if you give it, that's a good practice. All right, and you just save your file and you just run this file using the live server. If you don't have live server in the VS Code, make sure you install live server. You just come here into the Chrome extension and just type live server, and then you just install that. Here you have live server, so make sure you install that. If it is already installed in your server, well, then you're going to see this icon here. So this is the icon which is saying go live. You just click that and it is automatically going to load for you. Now this is the web page. It is completely empty, but let me open the console here. So how do we open the console? There are two ways to open the developer tool. First is you press F12 on your keyboard, and then the other way is you come here and then you click these three dots, go to the more tools, and then come here and click onto the developer tool. So these are the two ways to create open the developer tool. And then let me make this a bit big, and as you can see there are multiple tabs. We have element, console, sources, network, and you just come here and click this console tab. That's all. And now let me zoom this a bit here for you and let me refresh it, and as you can see we have got hello world. Well, I've made a typo. Let me fix this out here. So let me type hello world, and there you go. Now it's printing me hello world. So there you go, you have written your first JavaScript program. So are you excited? Well, I am. So let's start with this. So what does this console.log basically mean? So console.log basically helps you to display any statement onto your browser console. So this is the browser console, and what we are saying is by doing console.log, we are saying, hey JavaScript, display this part, hello world, whatever I have written inside this invitation comma, here I have written hello world, display those inside this console. So that's what console.log means. So that's why it's displaying hello world inside the console tab. So this is one way of writing JavaScript code, but this is not such a good way to write a JavaScript code. The better way is to write a simple create a separate JavaScript file, .js file, and write your JavaScript code over there. So how do we create a separate JavaScript file? It's simple. You just come here and create a new file. Here you can see there is three dot, and you hit this new file and just write the name of file, whatever you want to write. You can write index, basics, whatever. Simply I'm going to write here app, and once you name your file, you just type .js. .js is extremely important. JS stands for JavaScript, and then hit enter. There you go. And then now what you can do is you can write the same console.log statement here, and you can say hello from .js file, or whatever the message you want to print out here. Now since we have created a separate JavaScript file and we have written the code as well, now what we need to do is we need to link this JavaScript file with this index.html file so that we get to see output inside the browser, right? So for that, what we need to do is we just need to come here, and again we need to write our script tag. Okay, so let us write the script tag back, and you just need to come here, give some space, and write src, give equal to, and inside the invitation comma you just name the path of this file. So here we are on the same path, the HTML file, and then the app.js is on the same path. So you simply can write the name of the JavaScript file, that is app.js. That's all. Now your JavaScript file is linked with your HTML file. Now we can come here and then we can refresh, and as you can see it's saying hello from .js file. So if I come now if I comment this out, you can see that there is no hello from .js file, that is gone. Well, this is because we haven't linked our JavaScript file with the HTML file. So in order to link this, we need to write this script tag and we need to write this app.js file. Basically, we need to give the path of this file inside the source, and then we will be linking our JavaScript file. Now, if I come here and refresh it, you can see here hello from .js file. Now some of you might be wondering, hey, what is this comment you have been saying all around? So what is this thing? So basically comment is something that you don't want to execute inside your code. Let's just say you have written some line of code, you have written for that, so for some specific purpose, but you don't want to execute that code at that moment, but you don't want to remove that from the file as well. So in that case, what you can do is you can comment your code, and this is how you comment your JavaScript code. You just come to the JavaScript file, and then let me show you how you can comment your JavaScript code. You just hit double slash and it is going to comment your JavaScript code. Now as soon as you comment your code, now this code is not going to run. It is going to simply be here for the reference purpose, but it is not going to be executed. And now if I come here, it is not showing me anything. And if I check, the file is already linked. I've given the path of JavaScript file inside the source attribute, but it's still not showing anything. Well, because I've commented this code. But if I uncomment this, it is going to run again. And there is a shortcut way to comment. You just hit Control or Command from your keyboard and give /. It is going to automatically comment it out. And for uncommenting, again you hit Control and /, and it is going to uncomment it out for you. Well, now that we have written the first JavaScript code, now let us move towards understanding the basics of JavaScript. So let me come here and create a new folder, and here I'm going to write 01_basics. Now we are going to understand the basics of JavaScript. Now inside this 01 basics folder, I'm just going to hit right click and create a new file, which I'm going to name it as again app.js. Alright, and now I'm going to comment this file out here because I don't need this file. This was just for introduction purpose. Now that basic file has been created, now let us link this app.js file with this index.html. And now you all know how to link it. Well, you just write the script tag, and inside the source attribute you add the path of this app.js file. So where is this .js file located? It is located inside the 01 basics, and 01 basics is located in the same directory of index.html. So you just first write 01_basics. Alright, you just write that, and as you can see, VS Code is auto suggesting me. Now that you have written the name of the folder, hit /, and inside this folder, since we have this app.js file, now you just name that app.js file. There you go. We have successfully linked this JavaScript file, and let us test whether we have linked or not by console logging it out. If it logs out, then we have linked it. So let me just write test, and let me go to the browser, and as you can see, it's logging test. So that means we have successfully linked our JavaScript file with the HTML. So the first concept while learning any programming language is variable. So let's start with understanding variables in JavaScript. So let me comment it out and here write variable. Okay, so I just made a small typo. It is going to be variable. Now what is variable in JavaScript? Most of the time, a JavaScript application needs to work with some information. So let's take an example of e-commerce platform like Amazon. So let's just say the Amazon product page needs to include informations like product name, descriptions, etc. Now, in order to store this information, the product name, product descriptions, etc. inside our program, we use variable. So in short, variable is like a placeholder or a container that store the information inside our JavaScript program. Alright, so that's what variable. Variable is a placeholder, a container. Consider variable like a box which is holding some kind of information. Right, so how do we declare the variable here? So in order to declare the variable, it's pretty simple. You just write this let, and then you just name the variable. So you can name whatever you want. So let's just say I'm going to name product name. Okay, because I want to store the name of a product for an Amazon website that is listed out there. And let's just say the product name is going to be t-shirt. Okay, the product name is t-shirt. And this is how you create a variable. So in order to declare a variable, you always need to use let keyword first, and then you just need to name your variable. So you can name whatever you want. So here I've named it product name, and you just write equal to, or this is also known as assignment operator. And then after that, inside this invitation comma, you just write whatever the value that you want to store. So here inside this invitation comma, I have written t-shirt. Now this t-shirt, which is our value, it got stored inside this product name. So consider this product name is a box, a container which is holding this t-shirt as a value. So this is how you create a variable in JavaScript. And how do you access it? It's pretty simple. You just name this container, and then you're just going to get the result. So let me show you. So I'm just going to write console.log here, and I'm just going to write product name here. And then if I write this console.log product name, and if I go to the console, as you can see, it's logging t-shirt for me. Well, because as soon as I write console.log and write the name of a variable, the JavaScript program is going to say, hey, product name, this is a name of a variable, and let me search for this variable inside our JavaScript file, and it is going to search it, and it is going to find, hey, this is the name of a variable that I have found here, and it is going to say what this variable is actually holding, and it is going to say, hey, this variable is actually holding this t-shirt value. And then what it is going to do is it is going to replace this product name from here, and then it is going to come and then just place this t-shirt here, and then that's how we are seeing this t-shirt. All right, so that's what variable means. So you just write the name of the variable, and whatever the value this variable is holding, that is going to print out here. So that's what variable is. But there are basically two ways to create a variable in JavaScript. To be honest, there are actually three ways, but the third one I'm going to discuss in the later section of the video, where I'm going to talk the scoping and all that other concepts. But here first let us understand only two types of variables. So variable is just one type. Basically it is just something that stores the information, but there are actually two ways to create a variable. But before we move with the second way, let us understand this first one. So variable, as I told, that it is something that stores the information, but you can update this variable as well. Like, let me write the product name here, and if I write the assignment operator, and if I write shoes here, now what is going to happen is this t-shirt value which was stored inside this product name variable, now later when the program is coming and running this line number 5 code, what it is going to do is it is going to remove this t-shirt from that container, and it is going to add this value which is shoes. So basically it is updating or changing the value of variable. And now if I go to the log, and you can see the shoes is being displayed out here, and we can confirm that as well. If I try to log this product name here above, and if I come to the console, and here you can see it is printing both t-shirt and shoes. Why it is printing both? Because here we have assigned t-shirt as a value to this product name variable, and we have logged immediately out here, and at this point of time this product name was holding this t-shirt value, and that's why it is printing this t-shirt. But after that, what we did is we updated the value of this product name variable with shoes, and we are printing it again. And now since we have updated the value, now it is printing shoes for us. So that's what variable basically is. But again, I told you, right? So there is another way to declare the variable as well, and that is by writing const. Okay, so we can write const, and again we just need to name the variable. So at this time let me write product description. So DESC stands for description, and let me just write a simple description here. Let me write awesome description of a product. Okay, so this is a description that we have created, and let me try to log this product description content here and see what it prints out. So Well, it is printing awesome descriptions of a product. Well, because this product description variable is holding this text as a value, and that's why it is printing this text for us. Now you might be saying, hey, so we have two ways to create variable in JavaScript. So which one to use when? And what's the difference between both? So let us see. Now, can we change the value of this product description variable? Let us try to update and see what is going to happen. So let me write product description, and inside the value let me simply write changing the description. All right, and let me save and go to the console, and there you go, I got an error. It's saying uncaught assignment to constant variable. So that's what const stand for. Const stand for constant. So constant means something which you cannot change once you assign some value to it. So whenever you declare a value with a variable, or you initialized a constant variable, after that you cannot change the value of that variable. It is fixed, right? The users can initialize constant value, constant variable for once with a particular value, and this value is going to be remain fixed forever. You cannot change this value. So that's what constant variable is. It is fixed, you cannot update it. But in the let variable, what you can do is you can change the value of variable again and again as much as you like. So that's the difference between let variable and const variable. Let variable gives you the flexibility to update the content of your variable, but the constant variable doesn't give you the flexibility to update its value. So if there is a case where you need to keep on changing the value of a variable, then use the variable with let keyword. But if there is a case where you want the value of a variable to be fixed and you don't want it to be changed, then use the variable with const keyword. So now that you understood what is variable, let us move with understanding the second concept, that is data types. So let us try to understand what is data types in JavaScript. So first let me type data types here. So data types basically simply means what type of value are we assigning to a variable. All right, so there are different types of values that we can assign to a variable. Like we can assign number, string, boolean, and different kinds of values that we can assign. So let us start with a number. Okay, so let me create a variable. Okay, and then let me create a variable using the let keyword. All right, and then let me name this variable as username. Okay, let me name this variable as username, and I'm going to name this user as John. All right, and let me try to log this username here, and as you can see here, I have assigned some value which is John inside this username. So whenever I try to assign any value to a variable using this double string inverted comma code, and inside this whatever I type, let's just say it's an alphabet, some random character, or any number, whatever I type inside this double inverted comma, and if I try to assign that value using a double inverted comma inside a variable, then this type of data is known as string in JavaScript. So we call them as string. All right, so this type of value that we are assigning by inserting into the double inverted comma, we call this as string. So right now the type of this variable is string type, so that's why we call this variable as string data type. So data type simply means what value or what type of value are we assigning to a variable. Instead of some kind of random string, if I'm assigning some number, then we can call this variable as number data type. Okay, but I'm not assigning a number here, I'm assigning some string here. So string basically means we are writing something inside the double inverted comma. Okay, and here I can write an alphabet, I can write some random number, or even some special character. Whatever we are writing inside this double inverted comma, it is known as string. And remember, whatever we type inside this double inverted comma, it is going to be printed as it is. All right, So that is known as string data type. And as I told you, we have another data type called number as well. So let me write id and let me write some random number 45646 etc. And now this variable is known as number data type. Well, because I am assigning some random number to this variable. And we have another data type as well, which is known as boolean. Okay, so let me create a variable and let me name this variable as is signed in. So let's just say I want to check whether the user is signed in or not, and let's just say I have written false out here. Now this type of value is known as boolean. So boolean basically simply means whether the value is either true or false. So in boolean we have only two values. So either the value can be true or either the value can be false. So if we are assigning any type of such value which is either true or false, then that type of value is known as boolean. And if we are assigning some boolean value to a variable, then we can say that this variable is a boolean data type. And if we are assigning some number, then we can say that that particular variable is a number data type. Now we have some more data types in the JavaScript, and like we have more data types like undefined, null, etc. So let us see what is undefined. So let me name this variable as unknown. All right, and then let me just not assign any value to this, and let me try to log this unknown variable and let me see what it is going to print here. So let me log this and let me comment this as well, and let me go to the browser and let me refresh, and as you can see it is printing me undefined. All right, so here as soon as I try to log console.log unknown, it is printing me undefined. But as soon as if I assign some value, well, let's just say I'm saying hello, it is a string and I'm assigning hello inside this unknown variable. Now if I log, it is giving me hello. So whatever this value the variable is containing, it is giving me this. But if I remove this and if I don't initialize a variable without any value, it is giving me undefined. So undefined data type simply means that there is a variable we have in our JavaScript file, but that variable does not contain any kind of value. So that is known as undefined. So undefined means since this variable does not have any value, so we cannot say what is the data type of this variable. We don't know whether it may be integer, character, string, number, right? It can boolean, anything. So that's why we call it undefined. And we have another type of variable which is known as null as well. So let me name this variable as empty and let me simply type null. All right, and as you know that if I log this empty, then I'm going to get null. So what is null? So null basically means we have a variable but it is null. So null means the variable is empty, it does not contain anything. So that's what null means. Now you might be getting confused. Say, isn't the undefined same? No, there is a difference between undefined and null. Null means the variable is having an empty value. It does not contain anything. That's what null means. And undefined means the variable is not initialized. No value is been given to a variable, and hence we don't know the data type of that variable as well. So that's why we call it as an undefined, not defined. It simply means it is not initialized. But if there is a variable which is initialized but its value is empty after some moment of time doing some kind of manipulation, then that variable is called null, right? Because that variable is empty. So that's the difference between undefined and null. And we have some more data types as well, like we have another non-primitive data type which is called array as well. So let me show you what is array. So before I show you array initialization, let me discuss what array is. So let me type here array here. All right, so let me comment this out. So array is also a variable only, but it is a special type of variable which can hold more than one value. As you can see here, these variables are holding only one type of value and only one value. it cannot hold more than one value. We cannot say that right now it is holding John, username is holding John, and I cannot write comma and then can say, hey, hold another name as well, let's say Amit, right, hold this as well. No, you can say it is giving me error. So here this variable can hold only one value at a time, but array is a special type of a variable which can hold more than one type of variable. And not only more than one type, but it also can hold more than one value. It can hold 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the number of value you want, array can hold it. So let me show you how to declare an array. So you just declare an array with either let or const keyword, and I have already told you the difference between let and const. And now you just name the array. So here let me see, I'm just going to name it as products. You give the assignment operator and then you just give the square bracket. That's all. This is how you declare an array, and inside this square bracket you basically write the value whatever you want to hold inside the array. So you just, let's just say I want to hold some products name, so let me write here shoes. All right, and then as I told you that this array can hold more than one value. So how does this array can hold more than one value? Well, we can do that by giving comma. All right, and then it is storing all those value using comma separated. All right, and then you just write another invitation comma, and let's just say I'm writing t-shirt. It is already holding two value, it can hold more value. So here I'm going to show you the example of three values, and then here I'm going to write it as jeans. All right, so here this array is holding three values at a time. Let me log and show you in the browser. So let me type log. All right, the VS Code is not helping me here. All right, let me hit enter, and let me type these products here inside the log, and let me go to the browser, and as you can see we got a list of values inside this array where it is holding shoes, t-shirt and jeans. And if I expand it out, notice here this every single value is assigned with some random number, and then the first value is assigned to 0, second is with 1, and so on, the third is with 2, and it keeps on going. So array starts with 0. You should never forget that. Always keep in mind that array always starts with 0, and whatever the value, the first value that we stored into the array, it is assigned with 0 number. The second is with 1, third with this 2, fourth is with 3, and so on. It keeps on going. All right, so that's how the values are stored in key value pair inside the array. All right, and that's how we can access the array as well using the random number, using the number that we have seen here. It is not random. All right, so let's just say you want to access the first value from this array. So how do you access it? So you just write the name of the array, write the square bracket, and you just write the index number. All right, so index number are those number which I have shown you in the browser, 0, 1, 2, 3. So those number are known as index. Now you just write 0, and as you can see that the first value is associated with 0, second is with 1, and the third it is with 2, and so on. So if I write product and into the square bracket 0, it is basically going to print shoes for us. So let us go here, and as you can see it is printing shoe for us. So what if I want to print this jeans? So I just need to write the name of this jeans index, and then it is going to print out here. So it's 0, 1 and 2. So instead of 0 I just need to write 2 index here, and it is going to give me jeans. So that's what array is. All right, now let's move towards the another data type, which is object. So let me type here object, and now that you understood what is array, let us understand objects. So well, objects is also a special type of variable which can hold more than one value, but it can hold the value in a key value pair. In the array we have shown that it is holding the value with just the value name, and then whenever we are accessing the value in the array we are using its index number as 0, 1 and 2, etc. And let's just say you want a similar type of features just like array, but you don't want to access the values using its index number. You want something like a key which is defined by you, then well, that is object for you. So let me show you. So let me create this object. So let me write const keyword here, and then let me name this object as user details. And just like you give assignment operator, and in order to create an object, instead of square bracket you need to give curly braces. All right, so that's the difference. And let's just say you want to store the username inside the user detail. So before you store that particular value, you need to assign that value with some key. All right, so since I'm storing the username, so I'm going to name the key as username here, and let me name the user as John. Okay, and I want to store another value. Let's just say I want to know whether user is logged in or not inside the Amazon. So since I want to know the status whether user is logged in or not, so that will be either true or false, so that the key is going to be is logged in. Okay, so I'm going to name the key as is logged in. All right, that is going to be the key, and I'm just going to write semicolon. All right, sorry, colon, and then I'm just going to write the status like true. So true means user is logged in. All right, and then let's just say I also want to store the age of the user. So since I want to store the age of the user, the key is going to be age. Well, you can name any key here. Since I'm storing the age of the user, so I'm naming it as key. I'm going to give colon, and I'm just going to assign some random age. So let me type 23 out here. So this is how you create objects. So the array also helps you store more than one value, and so does object. But the difference between array and object is that whenever you want to access the value from an array, you need to give its index number, right? But if you want to access the value, you don't need to give index number, you just need to give its key, right? So that's the difference basically between the array and object. And now let me log this user details, and let me show you how does it look. So let me go to the browser, and as you can see, it is giving me all the object out here. And let's just say I want to just know the name of the user. So how do I know that? Well, that's pretty simple. You just write the name of the object, which is user details in our case, and just write dot. And since you want to know the name of the user, so the name of the user key is username, so you just write the key name, which is username, and there you go, you got the name of the user. Now let's just say you want to know the age of the user. So now you simply write the name of the object first, which is user details, and dot. Now write the key, which value you want to access. So I want to access the age 23, so the key of 23 is age, so I'm just going to say dot age, and there you go, the 23 is logged there. So that's what object basically is. So these are the most commonly used data types inside the JavaScript. Now that you know what is data types and what are data types and their concepts, now let us move with another concepts in JavaScript, which is known as operators. Okay, just let me type out operators here. Now inside JavaScript we have many operators like assignment operators, add operators, less than sub operators, and whatnot. So let us discuss all those operators one by one. So first is assignment operators, and we already have seen what assignment operator is. So this equal to sign stands for assignment operator. So assignment operator is used when we want to assign some value to a variable. Like let's just say is signed in is a variable, and inside this I want to assign a value which is false. So how do I add this value false to this variable? Well, we can do that using equal to. So this equal to is responsible for assigning or adding this false value inside this variable box. So that's what assignment operator is. Now let us move towards understanding some of the arithmetic operators as well. So in JavaScript we have arithmetic operators like addition, multiplication, division, remainder, and subtractions. So let's just say we want to add a two number, so we just say 5 plus 2, and then well, it is going to add a two number for us, and there you go, 7. We got 7. So this is basically your addition operator. And if you want to subtract two number, well, you hit minus and it is going to do for you. This is your subtraction operator. If you want to multiply it, then you need to write this asterisk sign out there, and now it is going to multiply for you. 5 2, we got 10 out here, right? And let's just say you want to divide it. So in order to divide, you just need to write slash. Now it is going to give you the value of 5 divided by 2, and there you go, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, and we got that correctly. And let's just say you want to get the value of remainder while dividing. So for that you can use this percentage symbol, right? Or this is also known as mod symbol. Now you are going to get the remainder, and there you go, 5 divided by 2 is 1, and that is the remainder. Now we also have something called increment and decrement operator. So let me type out increment slash decrement. All right, and let us see what is this increment and decrement operator is basically. So let me create a variable which says number, and let me assign a value which is 5. All right, and now let me try to log this. Now let's just say if I type plus plus and type the name of the variable which is number, so what it is going to do is this number variable is holding 5 value, right? So what basically we are saying is, here we are saying plus plus 5. So what this plus plus is going to do is, it is going to add plus 1 to a particular value. So this is 5. So what it is going to do is, it is basically going to do 5 plus 1. So now it should print 6 for us, because 5 plus 1 is 6. So let me comment this out here, and let us go to the console, and as you can see, it is printing 6 for us. Alright, so let me zoom it a bit as well. And now let's just say we also have another type of increment operator here. Like, what if we use this plus sign and then write this plus plus here? Okay, and let me comment this out. Now what is going to happen? Is it still going to increment and make it 6? Let us see. No, well, it is making 5, but actually there's a catch. It is actually working. It is incrementing this 5 and making it 6, but there is a difference in execution. So whenever you write plus plus first and give the number, what it is going to do is, it is going to first increment that number. It is first going to make 5 plus 1 6, and then it is going to print for you. But if you write a number first and then write the operator later, what it is going to do is, it is first going to print this number value which is 5. So first it is going to print, and then after that, once it is printed, after that it is going to increment, and it is going to make 6, but by then it is already printed. So now this number variable is holding 6 value, but it is still printing 5, because before incrementing it just prints out and then increment. But in this case, it first increments and then it prints it out. So we can verify that. So for that, what we can do is, we can come here and we can log, and we can log that no more value, and as you can see, we got 5 and 6. So in this case, first it just printed what is the value. So it is 5, so it just printed 5, and then it incremented and it made 6. And now when it after incremented, we try to log, we got the 6. So that's the basic difference. And this type of operator, which is responsible for incrementing the value by 1 or adding the value by 1, it is known as increment operator. And well, we also have decrement operator as well. So decrement basically means it is going to reduce the value of a number or subtract the value of a number by 1, and we can do that by just adding minus minus. Now it should print us 4. There you go, we got 4. And as you all know that how it is working. First it is going to reduce the value of a number. It is going to make 5 minus 1 4, and then it is going to print. So this is how this works. But can you guess, what if I do like this and I am going to make it minus minus? Well, it's still 5. It is not decrementing, right? You have guessed it. So what it does is, it first prints the value 5, and then after that it decrements it, and then it makes it 4. And in order to verify that, we can write one more log statement right? And we can remove this, and then we can see here now it is printing 5 and 4 both. So first it is printing 5 because, well, the value of number is 5, it just prints out, and then later it decrements by 1 and then it makes it 4, and then later when it prints it is giving us 4. So that's how the increment and decrement operator works in JavaScript. Now we have some more operators. So let us move with other operators, which is known as comparison operator. All right, so let me type this and let me make it as comparison operator. Right, so what are those comparison operators? So comparison operator basically helps us to compare different values in JavaScript, and it is going to basically return us true or false. If the comparison is correct, if both the variable is having the same value, then it is going to give us true. If they are having different value, then it is going to give us false. So let me show you a basic example. So let me log here and let me write 5 and equals to 6. Now you might be wondering, hey, what is this double equals to? We already have seen one single equals to here, and I already told you that single equal to means assignment operator. So assignment operator basically helps to add or assign some value to a variable. But what is this double equals to? So this double equals to is actually not an assignment operator, it is a comparison operator. It basically helps you to compare whether both the values are same or not, whether the right hand side value and then the left hand side values are same or not. If both the right and left values are same, then it is going to give us true, and if the right and left values are different, then it is going to give us false. So here 5 and 6 are different, right? So it is going to give us false. There you go, we got false. But what if I make 5 equals to 5? Well, it is true, right? So 5 is equals to 5, so that's why it is giving 5 equal to 5 is true. But here's a catch. What if I use this 5 inside the string, that is inside the double quote? So you can make string in the double quote as well, or you can assign string in the single quote as well. That is your choice. I love to use double quote, so I'm using double quote here. Now can you say that this 5 string is same as 5? No. Why? Because this 5 is a number and this 5 is basically not a number, it is a string data type, and this is a number data type. So both are different, right? Although the value is same, whatever they are containing, it is also 5 and it is also 5. The core value is same, but their data type is different. This is a string data type and this is a 5, which is a number data type, right? How can you compare an alphabet with a number? So a string is kind of like an alphabet only, right? So both are not same, so it should give us false. Let us go to the browser. Wow, it is giving us true. So this is the pitfall of double equals to operator. So that's why we have something called triple equals to operator as well. And now if we use triple equals to operator, it is going to give us false. So now you might be wondering, hey, what is the difference between double equals to and triple equals to operator? So what double equals to does is it compares the value, and same the triple equals to does, it also compares the value, but there is difference in execution. The double equals to operator only checks the value what it is containing. So it checks it is 5, it is 5, it is going to give us true, right? It does not check the data type. It is not going to say, hey, this is string and it is number. It is not going to check the data type. Double equals to is not going to check the data type. If the values are same, it is going to give you true. If the values are different, it is going to give you false. But triple equals to, it is going to check the values, but plus it is also going to check the data types also. So first it is going to check the values. It is going to say, hey, this is 5 and this is also 5, right? The values are same. Now it is also going to do one more check of data types, and it is going to say this 5 is a number data type, but this is a string data type. Now the data types are different, so well, it is going to give us false. But if I remove this string and make it 5, now triple equals to is going to check the values, and it is going to say, hey, 5 5, both the values are same. Now let me check the data type as well. Now it is going to say, hey, this is also 5 which is a number, and this is also a 5. Both right and left hand side values are same, data types are same. Now it is going to give us true, and there you go, we got true. So that is the basic difference between double equals to and triple equals to comparison operator. Now we also have something called less than or greater than operator. So less than or greater than, simply like, let's just say if I write 4 less than 5, it is going to check whether this is 4 is less than 5 or not. Yes, 4 is less than 5, so it is going to give us true. There you go. But if I write 8, and this is known as less than operator, and if I write 5, well, it is going to give us false. Well, because 8 is not less than 5, and we have one more operator which is called less than equals to. So just let me write it here 5, and let me remove this equal to first. Now this is just a less than operator. So you tell me, is it 5 less than 5? No, right? Because 5 is equals to 5. 5 is not less than 5, so it is going to give us false. But if I write this equals to, now this is not a less than operator, this is a less than equals to operator. So it is not only going to check for less, but it is going to check for equal to also. So it is going to check for less first. It is going to say 5 is less than 5. No, it is going to give false. But it is also going to check, hey, but 5 is equals to 5. So I need to return true, right? So one of the cases is correct. So it is going to give us true. So that's what less than and less than equals to means. And similarly, we have something called greater than or greater than equals to. So here if I write 8, and if I say 8 is greater than 5, yeah, it is greater than 5. So 8 is going to give us true. But if I write 2, well, 2 is not greater than 5. So it is going to give us false. And if I write 5, obviously 5 is not greater than 5. So it is going to give us false. But if I write greater than equals to, sorry, not here. My bad, let me make it Control Z. All right, and let me write 5, and let me write equals to here. And now can you tell me whether 5 is less than equals to 5? Yes, true, right? 5 is not less than 5, 5 is not greater than 5, but 5 is equals to 5, so it is going to give us true. So basically that's what less than, greater than, less than equals to, and greater than equals to operators are. And we have one more operator which is not equals to. So let me write 4, and in order to write not equals to, you need to write this exclamation mark, and you need to give equals to. So this is your not equal to operator. All right, and then let me write 7. So 4 is not equals to 7, right? Yeah, so these are not equals to, so it is going to give us true because it is not equals to. But if I write 4 is not equals to 4, is 4 not equals to 4? No, 4 is equals to 4, so it is going to give us false. So that's what not equals to operator is. And we have something called not operator as well. We can use this not operator inside the boolean values. So boolean values are basically true and false, which I already discussed. So in order to use the not operator, you just write exclamation mark, this is known as not operator, and you just write true. So what this not does is it just reverts the values, right? So if it is true, it is going to make it false, and if it is false, it is going to make it true. So if I write console.log not true, it is going to make me false, it is going to print false. But if I write not false, it is going to give me true. So that's what your not operator is. And now we have some more operators. So one is known as string concatenation. So let me write string concatenation. Okay, concatenation. Let me fix the typo. All right, so concatenation operator. Now what does string concatenation do? Let us just find it out. So let me write log, and let me write hello, let me write plus, and let me write world. All right, well, I made a typo again, silly me, it's world, right? And I just added a plus sign. No, and this is not a addition operator. Why? Because here, like, I was using this and I was saying this addition operator, and here I'm not saying this is an addition operator. Now you might be confused. Well, because if I'm using this plus sign with the number, then it becomes an addition operator. But if I'm using this plus sign with a string, then it becomes a concatenation operator. So because this is a string, so right now it is a concatenation operator. But if this is a number, then it becomes an addition operator. So concatenation basically means to join. So if I write hello plus world, it is going to join both the left and right value, and it is going to give me hello world. So as you can see, it just joined the value and it gave me hello world. But here's a catch. Let me come here and let me log out, and then here let me write 5 and let me write 5 as well. Now here both sides are numbers, so now this is not a concatenation operator, it is a addition operator, right? So it should add the value. So let us find out. Yep, it is adding the value, working completely fine. It is giving us 10. But now what if I take this right hand side 5 and make it a string? Now can you say what is this operator? Well, is it a concatenation operator or an addition operator? Because the right hand side is a number, the left hand side is a number, and then the right hand side is a string. So which this operator is, whether it's a concatenation or addition, let's find out. Well, it is giving us 55. Is it? No, it is not giving us 55. It is giving us 5. Just like it was joining hello plus world and it was giving us hello world value, similarly it is giving us 5. It is joining, right? So right now this is behaving like a concatenation operator. So remember, if any of one side is string, then it is going to act like a concatenation operator. It is not going to become an addition operator. But if both the values are number, then it is going to act like addition and it is going to add you. All right, but now let us try this and test in case of minus sign. All right, so let us write 5 minus 5. It should give 0, and it is giving us 0. It is blue, it means a number, but if it is in white, then it is a string. All right, so now let me convert this 5 into a string and let me see what I'm going to get. Well, I'm still getting a 0. Now some of you might be wondering, hey, this 5 is a number and this 5 is a string, so how come a number is subtracting with a string? Because this is like saying 5 minus Rajesh, which is a string. So how can you subtract 5 from Rajesh? This is not possible, right? So how is this minus sign working? Well, this is something known as type coercion in JavaScript. All right, let me type it correctly. It is known as type coercion in JavaScript. So type coercion basically means the JavaScript is forcefully converting the data types of a value. So as you can see here, we have 5, which is a number, and we have given minus, and the other side we have given 5, which is a string. Now what JavaScript is saying is, hey, this is a string and this is a number. We cannot subtract a string with a number. So what should I do? So what JavaScript is doing is, it is saying, hey, maybe the programmer or the user wants to subtract two numbers, but he accidentally made it string, and then now I'm not able to solve it. So let me work for him. Let me convert this string into a number, and JavaScript forcefully convert this string into a number and makes this 5 string as a number, and we get 5 minus 5, 0. So that's what type coercion means. Type coercion means forcefully converting the data type from string to number or number to string and vice versa. Now let us move ahead and see another type of operator in JavaScript, which is OR operator. So let me show you what is this OR operator is. Let me write console.log, and here let me write 4 is greater than 2, and let me give the OR sign. So OR sign means giving this pipe symbol twice. All right, so and then again I can assign one more value, and let me write 7 is greater than 9. Now here let me show you. So here we have two conditions. One is 4 greater than 2 and another is 7 greater than 9, and in the middle we have OR operator. So what are the results that we'll be seeing in the console? So let us try to understand first. So let us see this first condition. Is 4 greater than 2? Yes, 4 is greater than 2, right? so that means it is true. And now we have this OR, and now let me see, is 7 greater than 9? No, 7 is not greater than 9, right? So now we have false. So now if we do true or false, so OR means if any one of the value is false, then it is going to give me false. Oh sorry, if any one of the value is true, it is going to give me true if any one condition is satisfied. So that's what OR operator basically means. So here we have first condition which is true, and we have second condition which is false. So it does not care about the second condition which is false, because we already have one condition which is true. So that's why it is giving us true in the console, right? So let us try to mimic more scenario here, and now let me comment this down, and let me replace this 4 and let me write 1, and let me replace this 7 and let me write 12. And now tell me, is 1 greater than 2? No, it is false, right? And it's 12 greater than 9? Yes, it is true. Now in this case, here in this side we have false scenario, and here we have true scenario. And as I told you how OR works, if any one of the condition between two is true, then it is going to print us true. So that's why we got true again. Now let me try to write another condition. Let me comment this out again, and now what I'm going to write is, here in place of 12 I'm going to write 6. That's all. Now here is 1 greater than 2? No, it is false. And is 6 greater than 9? No, it is false. Now here both the condition is false. Now can you tell me what it is going to print? It is going to print false. Now it is printing false. So that's how OR operator works. It is going to always print true if any one of the condition is true. It doesn't care about the rest of the condition. If any one of the condition is true, then it is going to print true. It is going to go for it. But if any one of the condition, or not if any one of the condition, I mean sorry, if all the condition are false, then it is going to give you false, right? It is going to give you false only in one scenario, that is if all the conditions are false, then you are going to get false. But if any one of the condition is true, then you are going to get true. All right, so that's what OR operator is. Now we have something called AND operator as well. Now AND operator is just opposite to OR operator. So let me replace this pipe sign and let me write this AND sign. If you write this AND sign twice, then this is known as AND operator. Now as you can see, if is 4 greater than 2? Yes, it is true. And now is 7 greater than 9? No, it is false. And now let us see what it is going to print. It is going to print false, because as I told that OR works exactly opposite of AND. In OR, if any one of the condition is true, it is going to give us true. It is going to give us false only when all the conditions are false. But AND is just opposite. In AND, if any one of the condition is false, it is always going to give us false. But if all the conditions are true, then only it is going to give us true. So that's how AND operator works. So let me re-verify here. Let me come here and uncomment it out. And as you can see here, this condition is false and this condition is true. Now let us see. Alright, let me fix this condition. This is not an OR operator, this is an AND. Let me fix this, and there you go. It gave us false, right? Because here no matter we have one true, but we have another condition is false, and one of the condition is false, so it is going to be false, right? So let me comment this. Let me come here. Let me replace this OR operator and let me write AND. Now here both the conditions are false. That means, well, it is going to give us false. Now let me change the condition and let me make it 11. Is 11 greater than 2? Yes, true. And let me make it 16. Now is 16 greater than 9? Yes, it is true. So now both the conditions are true. So now it is going to print us true. So that's how AND works. AND is going to give you true only if all of the conditions are true. That's when you get true. And if any one of the condition is false, you are going to get false in AND operator. So that is the OR and AND operator. Now let us talk a bit more about type conversion. Here I have already talked a bit about type conversion by naming it as type conversion. So type conversion is also called type conversion. So here we are going to deep dive into this type conversion topic and we are going to understand it thoroughly. So type conversion. So basically in JavaScript we have two types of type conversion. One is implicit and then the other is explicit type conversion. So now you might be wondering what is implicit and explicit type conversion. So implicit type conversion are those conversion where JavaScript implicitly converts those types for us. JavaScript actually forcefully convert those type. We didn't told JavaScript to convert string to number or number to string. JavaScript automatically convert that value. That is known as implicit conversion. And here I have shown you the example of implicit conversion. Here JavaScript automatically converted this 5 string into a this 5 number into a string and then it just concatenated and gave us 5. Right, so this is implicit conversion. And here in this case what JavaScript does is it automatically converted that string into a number and it gave us 5 minus 5 0. Right, so this is known as implicit conversion. But we have something called explicit conversion as well, where we as a programmer or a user can convert the data type of a particular value. So let me show you. So let me write log and inside this inverted comma let me write 5. So this is a string data type, right? See, it's white in color, so it's a string data type. Now can we convert this string data type into a number? Yes, we can do that. We just need to write this number and write this curly braces, and inside this we just need to write this value. Now what it is going to do is it is going to convert this value into a number. So this type of conversion is known as explicit conversion. Here JavaScript is not converting automatically for us. We are saying JavaScript to, hey JavaScript, convert this value into a number by calling this number function, right? So this is known as explicit conversion. And there you go. Now this 5 is blue in color, right? So that's what explicit conversion basically is, right? So similarly, let's just say this is a 5 number only, so that now it's printing 5, it is a number. Now can we convert this 5 number into a string? Yes, we can convert it. So we just need to call the string curly braces and inside the curly braces write this number value, and now this 5 is going to become string. So earlier it was displayed as blue, now it is displaying as white. So that means now this 5 basically is a string. So alright, now we are done with the operators and type conversions in JavaScript. Now let us learn another concept, something called template literals in JavaScript. So it is known as template literals. So let me show you what does it simply means. So template literals basically helps you to access a particular values inside a string using backticks. So let's just say this is a variable which is username again, okay, and username is John. Okay, so this is defined somewhere already, so that's why it is giving me an error. So let me find it out. Okay, here, so I haven't commented out. Let me comment this. All right, and now it is not giving me any error. All right, so now what if I want to print hello John? So if I say hello and write username, well, it is not going to give me hello John, right? It is printing me hello username. Because why it is working in so is because like this username I'm writing here, but I'm writing this username inside this double inverted comma, right? So as soon as I type something inside this double inverted comma, JavaScript treat it as a string. It does not treat it as a variable, and that's why it just print whatever we have typed inside the double inverted comma, and that's why it is printing us hello username. but we can avoid this phenomena and we can remove this double inverted comma, and we can use something called backticks. So use this is known as your backticks. Basically it is just below the escape key in your keyboard. And now here what you can do is you can simply write hello. And now if you want to access this variable, then what you can do is you just need to use this dollar sign and use the curly braces. That's all. And inside this curly braces you just use the name of the variable, username. Now this is going to act as a placeholder and it is going to say hello John. So there you go, it is printing me hello John. So that's what template literal in JavaScript means. It helps you to access variables inside the string, right? So it gives you that power. Now that we understood template literals, let us move towards understanding conditional statement in JavaScript. So let me type it as conditional statement. So okay, conditional, let me typo conditional statement. All right, MENT. All right, I don't know why I'm not typing it correctly today. So it's conditional statement. So there are different conditional statements, such as we have if, we have if else, we have if else if, and else. All right, and we also have something called switch. So we are going to discuss this. So let us discuss if part here first. So first let me declare a variable which is going to be a number, and let me assign it as 2. All right, and now let me declare this conditional statement. So if, so we just need to write if and use this curly braces. That's all. And inside this, not curly braces, normal bracket, and inside this bracket we just need to add some particular condition. So let's just say the condition is if number is less than 2, and what we can do is number is greater than 0. And once we have assigned the condition, what we need to do is we need to give curly braces as well. And inside this we can write our code block. So let me write some console.log here, and here I can say that number is let me type it out, it is less than 5 and greater than 0, right? So let me replace this 2 and let me make it 5 here. All right, so how does this if statement work? So here, as you can see, that here we have some certain condition, and if this condition is satisfied, then it is going to execute the code blocks that we have written inside this if statement. Whatever we have written inside this if statement, if the given condition is satisfied, then only it is going to execute. If the condition is not satisfied, it is not going to execute. Here we have number 2 is less than 5, yes, and is 2 greater than 0, yes. 2 is both less than 5 and greater than 0, so the condition is satisfied. So this code block is going to run, and there you go, we got number is less than 5 and greater than 0. So what we can do is here, let me change this number, and now instead of 2, let me make it 7. Now is the condition satisfied? Number is greater than 0, it is satisfied, but 7 is not less than 5, right? So not all the conditions are not satisfied. So this is AND operator, right? So in AND operator, all the condition is to be satisfied. Now it is false. So that means it is not going to execute this block of code. And as you can see, we got nothing, right? So now what we can do is we have another statement called else. So after if, we can write else, and I can simply log, and I can say the else is running. All right, now how this else is going to work is, if the if condition is satisfied, then whatever the code is there inside this if block, it is going to run, and the code inside the else block is not going to run. But if the condition is not satisfied, then the code inside the if block is not going to run, and the code inside the else block is going to run. So in this case, condition is not satisfied, so it is not going to run, and this part is going to run. So that's why we are getting the else is running. But if I put 2 here instead of 7. Now the condition is satisfied, so this part will be running and this will not be running. So there you go, number is less than 5 and greater than 0, and this part is not running. So this is your if else statement. Now we have something called else if as well, so we can add more condition and we can write else if here, and let me hit the enter here, and we can add some more condition as well. Now here we can add one more condition, and let's just say I'm going to write if the number is less than 0. Alright, and I'm going to simply log out here, and here I'm going to say number is negative, because any number which is less than 0 is a negative number, right? And here, alright, now if this is satisfied, this will run, rest will not run. This is satisfied, then this will run, rest will not run. If not all the conditions are satisfied, nothing is satisfied, then only the else part is going to run. We all know that, right? So here 2, this condition is satisfied, so that's why this part is running, here we can see. And here if I write 7, then we can see else is running because none of the conditions are satisfied, so that's why else part is running. But if I write -7 here, and as you can see in -7 this condition is not satisfying, but this else if condition is satisfying because -7 is less than 0, so this part is going to run, and there you go, we got number is negative. So that's your if else if statement in your conditional statement. Now we can write this in a much better way as well using the switch cases. So the switch cases is just like if else only, but it is a better way. So if there is only 1 to 2 condition, then it's good to use if else. But if there are multiple nested condition like if else if else if else if else if and else, if there is something like that, then it's better to use switch case. So let me show you how to use switch case. So it's pretty simple. So first we have, let's just say, a variable, and let me type it as user type, and let me write it as guest. Let's just say this user is a guest user. And now in order to write the switch, we just use this switch. All right, so this is how you write the switch case. You write switch, and then you write this, you pass some key here. So the key is going to be this variable user type. Okay, this is what I'm passing here, and you just write this curly braces, and you just write different cases and default. So these different cases that you can see here, this case, so these cases are like if else if statement, right? So these are the point where you add some certain condition, and this default is the part which is like a else. All right, so if none of the cases are satisfied, then the default part is going to run. And this break simply means as soon as, let's just say, this first case condition is satisfied, then this value is going to run, and it is going to break out of the switch statement. Nothing is going to run. The switch statement is going to be destroyed, or it is going to come out of the switch statement. Basically, it is not going to be destroyed, but the compiler is going to come out of the switch statement. So that's what basically break means. All right, and here we have case and value. In value, let me write it as regular. All right, and here let me write the code block. Okay, so let me write this as user is regular. All right, I have that. Now I can add multiple condition as well here. Okay, now user is regular. Now let's just say I want to check for whether user is admin or not, and I want to check for whether user is guest or not. All right, let me write this in curly braces, guest, and here user is admin, so let me write admin, and here user is guest, so let me write guest, and here let me come to the default part, and let me log out, and let me say default is running. Okay, now here I have assigned user type as guest. Okay, now if I go here, you can see user is guest because this guest condition is satisfied, so that's why this is running. Now if I make this as admin, and as you can see user is admin because, well, this case is satisfied, that's why this is running and none of the other conditions are running. Now let me change the user type and let me simply type something like is unknown, right? Or whatever I can type. I can add some random values as well. And now here none of the conditions are satisfied, so that means it is going to run the default case. So that's why it is saying default is running. So that's your switch case. It's pretty easy. Now we are done with the conditional statement as well. Now let us understand loops in JavaScript. So what are loops? So we have different loops in JavaScript. We have for loop, we have while loop, and we have do while loop. So these are the major three loops. So loop basically means, let's just say there are some certain lines of code in your program which you want to run it again and again for multiple number of times. So in that case you use loop. So you either use for, while, or do while loop based on your requirements. So for example, let's just say I have this console.log which is saying hello, right? And let's just say I want to run this console.log 10 times, 12 times. Okay, so in order to do that, what I need to do is I need to write the same code again and again and again. So for whatever the number of time I want to run it, for that number of time I need to write the same code again and again. Then only I am going to get the result that I am looking for. But here is a problem. This is the repetition of the code, right? So I am running it again and again, same code. I want to avoid that. I want to write this code just once, and I want to run it multiple times. So that is possible with the help of loop. So let's first start with the for loop. So for loop, you just write for, give the bracket, and you start your condition inside the bracket. So here first I'm going to initialize your variable. So first is initialization, where you initialize your variable. So I'm going to name this variable as I, and I'm going to initialize this variable with 0, and then I'm going to close this with semicolon. All right, now this is the initialization part. After the initialization, you have second thing that you need to do is you need to add some certain condition, and once you add the condition, you need to add like increment or decrement. So we have done with initialization. Let us add the condition. I want this loop to run 10 times. So I'll be saying I less than 10 because it is starting from 0, right? So that's what it is. Or for you easy, I can initialize with 1, and then I can make it less than equals to 10. All right, so now I'm starting this variable with 1. Basically I'm initializing it, and I'm saying it run this loop till 10 times. Okay, whenever, and then after that let me close this statement, and now let me write the increment or decrement. And what I want to do is I'm going to write I plus plus, and as you all know that plus plus is responsible for incrementing the value, right? So that's what it is. And let me write the curly braces, and let me write the code here. So I want to basically run this code hello. So let me come here and let me write console.log hello. All right, so let me show you how this code is going to run. So first what is going to happen is we have initialized this variable with 1, and once it is initialized, it is going to check for the condition I less than equals to 10. It is true or false. Well, 1 is less than 10. It is true, right? And as soon as the condition is satisfied, it is going to come inside this bracket, and it is going to check the code. So whatever the code is there, it is going to execute it. So here we are logging hello, so it is going to execute that code, and once it is executed, it is going to, here we have written I plus plus. So after the execution, it is going to increment the value of I, and then it is going to make it from 1 to 2, and then again it is incremented to 2. Now again it is going to check whether 2 is less than 10 or not. Yes, it is less than 10, so it is going to run again, and then again it is going to come here and make it 3, and again it is going to check 3 less than 10, print it, make it 4, 4 less than 10, true, print it, make it 5. So similarly it goes till 10 times. All right, and then it is going to say is 10 less than equals to 10. Yes, it is true. 10 is not less than 10, but it is equals to 10, so it is true. Again it is going to come here, it is going to print it 10 times, and then after that it is going to again increment, and it is going to make it 11. Now it is going to say is 11 is less than equals to 10. No, 11 is not less than equals to 10, means condition is false. Now it is going to come out of the loop, it is not going to print anything. All right, so that's how your for loop basically works. So basically now it should log hello 10 times. So let me save and go to the browser. And as you can see, I have got 10 written out here. So 10 written out here means it is printed a hello 10 times. Alright. So that is what for loop for you. Now let's just say I can add one more block of code as well. So I can say user as well. So let's just say I want to print hello user using different consoles, so that also I can do it, and I can write hello user here. All right, and let me save, and as you can see I got hello user 10 times, hello user 10 times, right? So that's how for loop works. Now we have another type of loop as well, that is while loop and do while loop. So let us see how while loop works. So as I told you, every loop has got three parts. First is initialization part, this part. We have the another is condition, and we have the increment or decrement part. So in while loop, initialization happens first. So we will initialize like a variable here, let I equals to 0, and then what we are going to do is we are simply going to write while, and inside the bracket we are going to write the condition, which is I is less than equals to 10, and we are going to simply, well, print out whatever we want, right, which is hello user. And then after that what we are going to do is we are going to increment it out here, and let me fix this as well. So it is going to be less than equals to, and let me give the space. So here what is going to happen is first we have initialized 0, and it is going to check condition is 0 is less than 10, true. It is going to print hello user. It is going to increment, make it 1 is less than 10, true, print hello user. So it is going to keep on going, and then like let's just say now I is 9 by incrementing. Now I is less than 9 is less than 10, true, print hello user, and then now it makes it 10. Now again it is going to be 10 less than 10, true, print hello user. Now again it is going to increment and make it 11. Now is 11 less than 10? No, it is false. Right now it is going to come out of the loop, right? So that's how while loop works. And as you can see, we again got hello user as expected. Now let us talk about do while as well. So how does the do while loop works? So again we need to write initialize. So initialization part is same as that of while loop. Now after that what do we do is we just write do part, and then we just write curly braces and give the code snippet to execute. So yeah, that's the difference between while and do while loop. In while loop, first we give the condition, and if the condition is satisfied, then we execute and increment it. But in the do while loop, first we execute the code for the first time at least once, and then only we give the condition. Okay, so that's the difference. And then only here we are going to write while, and we are going to give the condition where I'm going to say I is less than equals to 10. Okay, and then I forgot to add the increment part. Here I'm going to add the increment part as well. So that's why this while loop is known as entry control loop, and the do while loop is known as exit control loop. Because in the while loop, let's just say in the starting only, if the condition is not satisfied, it is not false, then the while loop is not going to run for a single time, because at the starting only condition is false, so it is not going to execute. But in the do while loop, even if the condition is false, it is going to run for one time at least, because we are checking condition later, right? So that's what do while loop basically is. Now let me save, and as you can see, it is printing hello user as expected. So these are the different loops in JavaScript that we have: while, do while, and for loops. Alright guys, so we are officially done with the basics of JavaScript. So a big congratulations to you for completing the basics of JavaScript and making your JavaScript basics better and stronger, right? So this is a 3-part video series. So this is a first part where we have learned the JavaScript from the basics, and we have cleared our basics and made our basics strong. Now in the second part, we will be learning intermediate JavaScript, and in the third part, we'll be learning advanced JavaScript. The link of both the intermediate and JavaScript video will be in the descriptions and in the comment. So feel free to check them out. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And then I'll see you all in the next video.